A conflict between humans and demons has raged for 15 years. Hero, the finest human fighter, travels to the Demon King's palace in order to put a stop to the battle. The Demon King turns out to be a queen who's been wanting to see Hero in person and would like to speak with him instead. As they converse, she discloses that the conflict has helped both sides since both races have set their differences aside to fight a common enemy and strengthen the economy. It has, however, enabled the strong and corrupt to exploit the weak. For example, the impoverished human southern kingdoms must continue to combat the demons in return for food and financial help from the wealthy central kingdoms. Furthermore, regardless of who wins or if the war ends abruptly without rewarding individuals who have been hired as a result of the fight, it will result in a large civil war, much to Hero's chagrin. The Queen, on the other hand, has a plan to bring wealth and permanent peace to both of their species, and she seeks his assistance. Hero accepts after being persuaded, and they both commit their lives to one another. The Queen and Hero arrive at the human realm in a little agricultural community named Winter Pass, where they settle into a villa with the assistance of her most loyal servant, Headmaid. To buy time before the fight begins, stories circulate that the Hero and Demon King have fought and are recovering from their wounds. The Queen is granted a cover identity as Crimson Scholar, a human noblewoman, thanks to Headmaid. The Crimson Scholar tries but fails to persuade the village elder to adopt a 4-field agricultural rotation scheme in order to boost productivity. The hero ruckus at the stables later that night, only to discover 2 young sisters hidden within, escaping a life of serfdom. Hero wants to assist them, but Headmaid refuses because she first scorns them, comparing them to insects that are unable to govern their own lives. The sisters request that Headmaid teach them how to behave like humans, so that they might learn, which she agrees to and takes them under her care since she needs assistance at the villa. While the scholar educates the sisters, she also teaches the sons of a noble, a warrior, and a merchant about the war's repercussions on society in the hopes of changing their minds. The scholar is able to get another meeting with the village elder thanks to her students, which she intends to win over with a hidden weapon. The hamlet has followed the scholar's agricultural practices for a few months. Crimson Scholar and Hero, now posing as the White Swordsman, meet with the nun in charge of the Lake Monastery in Lake Nation, who turns out to be a female knight, a former member of Hero's previous group. To explain Hero's absence, Crimson Scholar tells female knight that she discovered him seriously injured after his struggle with the Demon King, and that he promised his protection in return for saving his life. They hear from her that one of Hero's comrades, Archer, has gone to serve one of the Southern Knight's royal families, while a female magician has gone to the demon realm in search of him. Female Knight accepts when Scholar reveals her secret weapon to be potatoes, a crop previously known in the human realm and its advantages, and asks her and the church to dismantle the crop and educate people in the southern nations how to cultivate it. Meanwhile, the Merchant Guild gets a dry compass as a gift from the scholar, and after analyzing its virtues, they resolve to find a method to monopolize it. Back at the villa, Hero chooses to seek the demon realm for female magician, and before he leaves, the Queen bestows upon him an intimidating back armor and directs him to utilize it while serving as an enforcer under her authority, where he meets several demon leaders he can trust. Since Hero's departure, the fall season has come, and Female Knight has relocated to the villa to instruct Crimson Scholar's children swordmanship. Young Merchant, an Alliance member, pays Scholar a visit, and she shows him to another crop, maize, which would help raise mankind's food output even more if the Alliance helps her support the crop's growing. Young Merchant accepts Scholar's proposal despite understanding that her purpose is for the battle to end peacefully, which the human kingdoms and church may seem as traitorous and heretical. He proposes to Crimson Scholar before departing, much to her chagrin. Winter Prince brags about Scholar with his butler, who is really Archer, about how her crops and ideas have aided the South, resulting in economic independence from Central. While it has been 6 months since Hiro left for the demon realm and gained some demon allies, the Queen's anxiety grows as she's unaware that he has used his teleportation ability to return to the villa regularly behind her back. A fact only Chief Maid is aware of, and to whom he confesses that he returns to meet her out of his desire to be useful to her. Meanwhile, Central has constructed the southern countries to construct a massive naval force in an attempt to retake Aurora Island, the demon's lone territory in the human world. At Gateway Metropolis, a massive city in the demon realm held by humans, Hiro, posing as Black Knight, rescues a demon barmaid from Crusader harassment and learns from her how the human army has abused the demons since occupying the city, with the exception of those who protect the Eastern Fortress. Meanwhile, because of their inept commander, the White Knight King, the expeditionary fleet sent to reclaim Aurora Island is a catastrophe when demon krakens destroy most of the fleet, leaving just a few survivors, including the Winter Prince, whose father is murdered rescuing the White Knight King. Most southern leaders despise White Knight King, who refuses to accept responsibility for his shortcomings and instead blames them on the late Winter King. The Winter Prince succeeds his father's throne, becoming the new Winter King, and calls Female Knight to conduct a second expedition to recover Aurora Island, which is viewed with suspicion by White Knight King owing to Crimson Scholar, the Church, and the Alliance assisting the Winter Kingdom. Scholar reveals her actual identity as the Demon King to Female Knight as she prepares to leave and offers to be her friend. Female Knight, to her amazement, already knew since Hiro had already told her the truth and accepted her friendship. The New Year festival approaches, and Hiro and Queen are reunited after a year apart. Hiro discloses to her that he has a plan to free Gateway City in a month, and learns from her that she too plans to assist the humans regain Aurora Island after the two have a private dance. The hero then departs, vowing to see her again on the battlefield. Crimson Scholar answers Elder Sister Maid's question on why war occurs, and the latter explains its causes. Meanwhile, the Black Knight utilizes fairies to create nighttime illusions for the Crusader soldiers in Gateway City, undermining their sanity and morale, including the Crusader commanders. The Crimson Scholar comes to the Winter King's camp and offers him and Female Knight her assistance. To offset the Arctic General and his demon's advantage on the open sea, the Winter Kingdom soldiers construct a land bridge out of floating icebergs, with the help of the Salt Scholar. Female Knight now leads the Winter Kingdom soldiers on level ground, claiming the beachhead at Aurora Island. Despite their victory, they must now prepare for a protracted siege at the Cathedral of the Arctic General, who Hiro teleports to their camp, and the Crusader soldiers arrive from Gateway City. The winter armies get unexpected assistance. The Crusaders surrendered the city and its inhabitants to the mercenary general of the Eastern Fortress. Now that he's in charge, the general organizes a new administration with the city's powerful demons in order to keep the peace between their species. The demons attempt one more onslaught, but the Female Knight slays the Arctic General, and the demons are destroyed. The Winter King bestows titles to Crimson Scholars and Female Knights, as the Winter Kingdom celebrates the recapture of Aurora Island. Hiro is reunited with Archer, who advises him not to isolate himself because of his abilities, since he still has people who care about him. The Winter Kingdom has greatly improved as the second summer approaches, thanks to Crimson Scholar sending one of her pupils, the Merchant Youngster, to assist the Winter King. The hero returns to Gateway City as the Black Knight to attend a festival after training with Female Knight and sampling younger sister Maid's fizzy drink. The Fire Dragon Princess, daughter of Archduke Fire Dragon, enters when Hiro is eating with the Western Fortress General, much to Hiro's displeasure, since the princess fancies herself to be the Black Knight's bride. Realizing that she is running out of time, the scholar sends Hiro and the elder sister Maid, who has become her apprentice, to the Iron Nation to demonstrate a new invention, the printing press, that would enhance human knowledge. When the Queen and Female Knight are both sleeping with Hiro one night, the Queen discloses to Female Knight that she would be returning to the Demon Realm to continue her authority and participate in a ceremony that would renew her right to rule, and she asks her to protect Hiro. The queen gives elder sister Maid a magical ring that will modify her appearance to look like her, so she may attend meetings in her place before she and Chief Maid return to the demon realm. Meanwhile, the Crusader commander is commended to die for cowardice in leaving Gateway City, but the White Kingdom intervenes and saves him. The White King and the commander, enraged by the Winter Kingdom's prosperity, join forces to conduct a conspiracy against them. Young Merchant makes a visit to the Crimson Scholar's villa, and elder sister Maid, following her orders, attempts to imitate her with the magical ring, but is unsuccessful. Hero then intervenes and transports him to the demon realm, where he shows him how the now liberated Gateway City has grown into a thriving metropolis inhabited and ruled by humans and demons alike, and has the Fire Dragon Princess host a banquet for them, where he offers him the right to explore the city's commerce in exchange for aiding him and the Demon King in their efforts. Meanwhile, the Queen meets with Female Magician in the outer library before entering the ritual chambers, instructing Head Maid to murder her if she loses her sanity. Female Knight returns to the villa and offers herself to be knighted by Hero as a gesture of her lifelong dedication, which he grudgingly accepts. An official of the church visits Winter King and tells him to bring up Crimson Scholar, who has been labeled a heretic and her teachings blasphemous by the newly elected Pope himself, and he goes to the villa with Archer to warn the others. To keep the Winter Kingdom safe from additional issues, Hero devises a scheme that involves handing up elder sister Maid, disguised as the scholar, to the church, only to be recovered by Hero at a later date. According to Young Merchant sources, the Central Church in Central countries manufactured the heresy allegations against Crimson Scholar since her work aided the South's independence from Central's dominance. Taking action, he enlists the assistance of one of Scholar's pupils, the Noble Youngster, in his schemes. Meanwhile, a church emissary comes to arrest Scholar, unknowing that she is really elder sister Maid in disguise. As Hero waits for the chance to save her, she is accused of heresy, chained, and tortured in front of a large audience. But just as elder sister Maid is given the opportunity to speak, she informs everyone she was once a serf. She recounts how she lost the majority of her family during her time as a serf, and how owing to their divinity, the Spirit of Light, she was rescued and given the opportunity to rise and stand as a true person. She informs the audience that the Spirit gives mankind the ability to choose their own destiny, and that no one has the authority to take it away from them, and that permitting anybody to do so turns them into insects. The emissary is enraged and orders the mob to stone her, but the throng is encouraged by her comments and stones him and his entourage instead. One of the emissary's soldiers tried to kill elder sister Maid, but is stopped by the Winter King, who protects the scholar and orders the emissary to depart with Female Knight, who accuses him and the Central Church of corruption, and proclaims Scholar a saint. The emissary escapes, vowing that the Winter Kingdom would be held accountable for their blasphemy. Meanwhile, a blue-skinned demon is disturbed by images of elder sister Maid, and a strange creature laments the current situation. The Southern Kingdoms band together to defy the Central nations by abolishing serfdom and lowering taxes to encourage people to migrate to the South, and the Lakeside Covenant secedes from the Central Church to found the true Church of the Light Spirit, which spreads its message throughout pamphlets and bards. Meanwhile, as part of his intentions, Young Merchant starts purchasing wheat from the Central nobility using futures contracts, causing food costs to soar. The South enacts trade duties and levies on exports, fearing that their food supplies may run out if Central continues to import their food. Meanwhile, in Gateway City, Fire Dragon Princess notifies East Fortress General that the Blue Demon Clan is up to something, and she later meets with Young Merchant in the human realm to get salt since the demons are out. As the Central declares war on the South owing to trade restrictions, Hero urges the Winter King to purchase time before the combat starts in order to avoid unnecessary killing on both sides. Winter King and Hero are notified that an army led by the Blue Dragon Clan has emerged through the Demon Realm portal and wants to strike from the south, while Young Merchant and Fire Dragon Princess discover that Central intends to install a new currency to avoid inflation. Hero travels alone to battle the Blue Demon Clan, enabling the Southern Alliance to concentrate on the approaching invasion from the north. and he meets up with female magician on the way there, much to his surprise. Meanwhile, in the demon realm, the queen emerges from the chamber possessed by the ghosts of the old demon kings, and Chief Maid, after having her right arm ripped off by her, manages to shove her back inside. Young Merchant, accompanied by Fire Dragon Princess, reveals his plan to have the southern nations create their own currency and expand the Merchant Alliance's commerce with the demon realm to Merchant Youngster. Fire Dragon Princess exposes her actual personality to him on this occasion, revealing that she is an ambassador of the demons of Gateway City, in punishment for their serfs fleeing the kingdom for the winter, ice, and iron countries. The White Knight cavalry, headed to the Crusader commander, conducts a surprise attack to the east of the Iron Kingdom. The onslaught, however, fails, due to the warrior youngster's sophisticated tactics which he learned from Crimson Scholar and Female Knight. Female Magician, upon learning the predicament, directs Hero to destroy the magical gateway that connects the two worlds once she has transferred the whole Blue Demon army away. Hero arrives in the demon realm after passing through the hole left by the explosion and discovers that both realms are really situated on the same planet, like two sides of a coin. Hero ultimately approaches the queen, only to be assaulted by her possessed self as she continues with her plot to have the local peasants supply rotten fodder to sicken the Central Army's horses and thwart their intentions. Female Magician arrives in front of the Winter King, with instructions from Crimson Scholar on how to manufacture a smallpox vaccine that would persuade Central to make peace with the South. Hero returns to the demon realm and assists the queen in exorcising the ancient demon kings from her body. Hero reveals to the queen what's transpired since Chief Maid departed the human realm as he reattaches Chief Maid's arm. Meanwhile, in the Iron Kingdom, Crusader Commander discovers the Maid sisters in a printing factory and tries to murder Elder Sister Maid, thinking her to be Crimson Scholar, but is saved by Warrior Youngster, who battles the commander and pushes him to his death from the top level. The mercenaries in the Central Army camp get enraged and restless because they don't have enough food. Their horses are ill, and the Central authorities are squabbling over unclaimed war loot rather than attacking the South right now. Female Knight and her better armed cavalry use hit-and-run tactics to repel a mercenary captain's horseback assault on the Southern Army camp. The Central Army is forced to retire as winter approaches. Back in the Central Nations, it is revealed that Blue Demons, along with the Central leaders and Central Church, are the true perpetrators of the war, and that they are planning a new crusade against the South with matchlock firearms based on the design stolen from one of Scholar's Iron Nation collaborators. The Queen returns to the demon realm after her struggle with Hero and organizes a conference with the other demon leaders, which some demons see as a sign of full-scale war with humans, much to her dismay. The Alliance supplies potatoes to feed Central thanks to the Central-South ceasefire, while Young Merchant persuades the Southern authorities to establish commerce with the demons. The Queen and Chief Maid discuss how they assisted mankind after support at the villa with Hero, Female Knight, and the Maid sisters. But the one thing they didn't anticipate and were proud of was what Elder Sister Maid accomplished. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll